Hey there, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the intriguing world of La Recoleta Cemetery in Buenos Aires. Let's start by immersing ourselves in the eerie beauty of this historical site. Picture a place where history whispers through the ornate mausoleums and winding pathways, drawing you in with its unique atmosphere. La Recoleta Cemetery stands as a historic landmark in Buenos Aires, renowned for its stunning architecture and famous inhabitants. From former presidents to legendary poets, each tomb tells a story of Argentina's rich past. However, with the rise in tourism and urban development, preserving the delicate structures and history of the cemetery has become a significant challenge. The balance between conservation and accessibility is crucial to safeguarding this cultural treasure for future generations. As we explore further, we uncover the intricate details of the mausoleums, sculptures, and the captivating stories behind the notable figures laid to rest here. Every corner reveals a piece of history, inviting us to unravel the mysteries of the past. Amanda had always been drawn to places with a whisper of history, and La Recoleta Cemetery in Buenos Aires was the hushed call she couldn't ignore. Widely known for its elaborate, ornate mausoleums and being the resting place of many famous figures, it carried whispers of the past, like an ancient song. Descending the flight of stone steps, Amanda felt a strange chill despite the warm evening air. She had read tales of ghostly apparitions and eerie happenings in La Recoleta, but she dismissed these as mere folklore, the kind locals spun to intrigue tourists. But as she wandered deeper into the labyrinthine pathways, a creeping dread began to unsettle her. The shadows grew longer, and the once comforting sounds of the city seemed to fade into silence. She stopped in front of an ornate mausoleum and, out of curiosity, began to take photos. Her camera's flash flickered strangely, even though the battery was full. An uneasy sensation crawled up her spine as she reviewed the pictures she had taken. There, in the darkened windows of the mausoleums, she saw faint, shadowy faces peering back at her. Faces that weren't there when she had looked with her own eyes. The temperature around her plummeted. Amanda shivered, her breath becoming visible in the chilling air. A thick fog began to roll in, shrouding the graves and statues in an ethereal mist. She turned to leave, but the paths seemed to wind in directions she couldn't recall. The towering mausoleums now appeared like grim giants leaning towards her. "Hello?" Her voice trembled and echoed hauntingly. No response came, only the muted sound of footsteps behind her. She spun around, holding her camera up like a shield. The steps stopped. There was nothing but a cold, stifling silence. Amanda's heart raced as the fog thickened, swallowing the light. A faint murmur reached her ears, growing louder and more insistent. It was a choir of whispers, each voice overlapping the next, but none clear. She began to run, her footsteps echoing ominously through the fog-shrouded aisles. The whispers grew into desperate cries, pleading and accusing in a language she couldn't understand. She turned a corner and stumbled upon a large, vine-covered sepulchre. Suddenly the ground gave way beneath her, and she fell into a dark, narrow pit. The fall wasn't long, but it felt like an eternity. She landed hard, the breath knocked out of her. It was an underground chamber, damp and suffocating. Coughing and disoriented, Amanda reached for her phone, only to find it missing. Her camera lay shattered beside her. Panic surged as she groped in the darkness, the walls pressing in. She felt something cold and brittle bones. Her scream was choked by the thick air. A distant flickering light caught her attention. She crawled towards it, feeling the jagged remains of forgotten bodies beneath her hands. The light was coming from an old iron lantern, hanging from a crooked nail. She grabbed it, its feeble flame casting grotesque shadows on the walls. In the corner of the chamber stood an emaciated figure, its eyes hollow and haunted. It reached out with skeletal fingers, and Amanda was paralyzed with terror. The air around her filled with the stench of decay as it whispered, "Are you dumb? Are you dumb?" With a surge of adrenaline, Amanda scrambled to her feet and ran through the labyrinthine tunnels of the crypt. The whispers followed her, growing louder and more frantic. She finally found a set of stone steps and ascended into the open air, gasping for breath. The fog had lifted slightly, revealing the moonlit rows of mausoleums. Amanda fled the cemetery, never daring to look back. In the days that followed, she was haunted by nightmares of the gaunt figure pleading for help. She researched the cemetery's past and uncovered the story of a caretaker who had been sealed alive in the catacombs for desecrating graves. His restless spirit was said to haunt the grounds, seeking release. Before we part ways, don't forget to show some love by liking this video, subscribing for more horror content, and sharing your own experiences or thoughts on La Recoleta Cemetery in the comments below. Your support means the world to us. Thanks for joining me on this journey through La Recoleta Cemetery. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.